want to welcome everybody to our third annual State of the Schools. This is just a great opportunity for us in Brooklyn City Schools to talk about all the great things we have going on and really to help us communicate with our community, our stakeholders, our business partners, our city officials on some of the initiatives going on in the district and some of the things we have planned in the district. This will be streamed on YouTube at some point, right, Bobby, Dave? Yes, thank you. Before we get going, I want to acknowledge some individuals in the audience today. We have one of our board members, Rob Slattery. If you could stand, Mr. Slattery. Thank you for being here, appreciate it. We'll acknowledge all of our board members, President Rocky Neal, Vice President Bonnie Barczyk, Mr. Rick Singer, Ms. Kelly Kral, and obviously Mr. Rob Slattery. I want to thank them for their support and leadership. And things we're going to talk about today is a culmination of the district leadership team, board leadership team, and the initiatives we put forward for our kids. A couple other acknowledgments that I see in the audience, and I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Mayor Van Kirk's here, so I want to thank you very much for being here, Mayor. Councilman Selhertz and Borowski, I believe, are in the audience. And we also have Steve Herbeck from Support Our Schools, so I want to thank Steve for being here. Goals for today's presentation, really what we want to do is just update our school community on our strategic planning process. And the strategic planning process has been going on for 3 years. And this is something that really, truly drives our initiatives and the work we do in the district with our kids and our staff. Identify various strategic areas that we're really looking at for the rest of this school year and into the 23-24 school year. And we're going to identify 8 focus areas that we'll go over today. Updated programming, the fiscal and operational status of the district, and then at the end, an opportunity for our community to engage with our students that are here, our staff members that are here, and really answer any questions you may have. Before we get going today, I want to introduce Mrs. Kim Cipriani and our Brooklyn High School Choir. They're going to start us off with the national anthem. They're also selected another song for us to listen to. So, Mrs. Cipriani, thank you. Thank you.
Right, these are members, a few of our members from the Singing Storm Show Choir. Thank you.
What so proud you
Our second selection is Take Me Home, the Pentatonics version.
You light up in the dark. You're the gold work of art. Oh, I see a shining star. You're the light from afar. Oh, don't you forget, the only thing that matters is your heartbeat going strong. Don't you forget that nothing else can matter, 'cause you know where I belong. Take me there, won't you take me there? Won't you take me home? Take me there, won't you take me there? Won't you take me home? We light up at the sky. Ooh, no, ask goodbye. Oh, 'cause love can never die. Love can never die. You and I, oh, don't you forget, the only thing that matters is your heartbeat going strong. Don't you forget that nothing else can matter, 'cause you know where I belong. Take me there, won't you take me there? Won't you take me home? Take me there, won't you take me there? Won't you take me home? Take me there, won't you take me there? Won't you take me home? Take me there, won't you take me there? Won't you take me home?
Thank you, Mrs. Cipriani. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Give them one more round of applause, please. Mrs. Jones. Start the clock. Okay. My admin team. Where's my admin? The admin team. Could you stand up? Yeah. 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 They don't know that they make. I know that they make fun of me behind my back. And so last year's presentation, they decided to make some little side wagers on how long superintendent would talk at the state of schools. So I know what you say about me. Just remember that. So want to thank our admin team, the admin team for the district for their leadership and everything they do for our students. Want to acknowledge, we have some of our secretarial staff. Mrs. Baker, I told you I would acknowledge. Could you stand up, Mrs. Baker, please? Come on, Mrs. Baker. Yeah. Mrs. Baker is my administrative assistant, and she truly runs the district. So I want to thank you, Mrs. Baker, for everything. Our strategic plan, we've kind of dubbed it Brooklyn 2030. Some of the things that it's gonna shape our growth and progress over the next several years. I mentioned before, we started this process last year, actually 2020, in which we developed our portrait of the hurricane. Last year, we developed our specific strategic plan. You can see throughout the district, we have this signage all throughout the district in terms of how we want to act to, and we vision and our mission and our core beliefs and how we treat our students, how we service our students, and how we service our school community. So you can see the vision, mission statement, and core beliefs there. We've also identified 5 pillars which will drive all of our initiatives moving forward. And you can see that's academic achievement and growth, social emotional wellness, community engagement and communication, college and career readiness, and finance and district operations. And what we do every year, we create action steps under each of those pillar areas, because all of those areas, there could be a wide interpretation of what we do. So the administrative team through the building leadership teams identify specific action steps. And what we do on an annual basis is we publish those action steps, we measure them, and we measure our growth. And we're in the process this year of, with the admin team, of determining, did we meet our action step goals, and what do those look like for next year? And so doing that annually allows us to pivot quickly if there's a sudden change or a sudden need that we need to address in the district. So, but these are the 5 core areas that drive the work we do in the district. As we move forward for next year and beyond, we're going to look at 8 focus areas. Our first focus area that I want to talk about this morning is we want to increase district enrollment and participation trends for our students. You can see here, this is a graph of our student enrollment trends since school year 13-14. You can see over the course of about 10 years, we have dropped approximately 250 or so students. We really got hit hard with the pandemic in 2020, but as you can see, we are beginning to see a rise back in our student enrollment population. And right now we have students that live in the district that attend other private, parochial, or community schools or charter schools, and some of our families homeschool. And I'm a big proponent of family choice. But what I want to do from our district perspective is to make sure that the programming we have here in the district really is able to focus and look at all students, so that if a family who chooses to send their students somewhere else, they at least have an opportunity to analyze and evaluate whether or not they want to come to Brooklyn City Schools. But one of the things we really want to do over the course of the next 3 to 5 years is increase our student enrollment in the district. That being said, we believe that participation in athletics and extracurriculars are a key to the success of our school district and our students. And Mr. Becker, our Director of Athletics, when we hired him 2 years ago, one of the things that we talked about is increasing our student participation both athletically and in club and activity enrollment. We believe that students that are engaged with the school, that are active in activities, that participate in activities, are able to develop more as an individual and develop and participate in a positive manner in the school. And so we want as many kids as we can participating with our sports teams and participating in our club and activity enrollment. You can also see here, I have a slide here regarding our academic programming, and that goes from our AP courses, our CCP courses, College Credit Plus, Brooklyn Digital Academy, Career Connections Academy, and so part of what we'll talk about today as a focus area is some of that individual programming that we want all of our kids to have access to. We have students in this district that have a variety of needs, and we want to make sure that that we're able to offer programming that meets all of our students' needs. So again, you can see that over the course of the past 2 years, we've had a pretty significant growth from fall to spring, and you can see the specific numbers there. I want to thank Mr. Becker and his team for his efforts in helping and engaging our students. Started varsity bowling this year, team, which we haven't had in the district in a while, and we want to continue offer activities and sports that our kids want to participate in. Early literacy is our focus area, our second focus area, and this early literacy includes both the science of reading and math foundational skills. Our students are subjected to Ohio State tests from grades 3 through 10th, 11th grade on an annual basis. However, we want to really start to focus and look at how we're treating and how we're instructing our youngest students. And that starts in pre-K, K1, 2, and 3rd grade. And so many of our initiatives moving forward for the remainder of this year and specifically into next year will focus on the science of reading and math foundations. You'll hear the science of reading thrown out quite a bit through our governor's office. This is one of the initiatives that Governor DeWine and the state legislature are focusing on moving forward. Obviously, we believe there's going to be budget implications and tied into some of this professional development. And so we are aligning ourselves as a district to make sure that's a focus for our students. Career pathways, and I showed this slide last year at the State of the Schools. And when we think about career pathways, the old mentality or traditional mentality is if you're going into a career, you're going to the workforce or the trades, things like that. Well, we want to think of career pathways in a different perspective now. All of our student options lead to a specific career. You could go to your career through a 2-year or 4-year college, a trades or career center, or the workforce. And these are the buckets or the programming that we're starting to really look at our students in. We want to make sure that we are giving our students the option as they move forward. We want to prepare them for whatever option of schooling or whatever career option they may want to go to after high school. And this is our focus. Pictured here is our Brooklyn Career Connections Academy students, which I'll highlight in a few minutes here. But again, just another diagram here of college, military, technical college, employment, or trade school that our students will access when they graduate from Brooklyn High School. 2-year, 4-year college pathway is pretty traditional. College Credit Plus is an opportunity through the state of Ohio that high school students, grades 7 through 12 students can access college courses while enrolled in those grades. My son, who's an 11th grader, next year as a senior, will be taking classes at Cleveland State University along with taking some classes at his local high school. Here at Brooklyn High School, we have College Credit Plus courses embedded in the student's schedule that they can take here, or students have access. There are students enrolled at Brooklyn High School that we never see on a day-to-day basis because they are attending college full-time. And this is a great option for some of our families and our students. We also have the AP program, Advanced Placement Program. It's a college national curriculum which our students can take here at Brooklyn High School, in which they would take a test at the end of the year to earn credit for college. Looking at the skilled trades, we have, carpentry, plumbing, welding, masonry, HVAC, electrician. We are in a day and age where these professions are highly sought after in the workforce. We have a great partner in Polaris Career Center. I don't know if Superintendent Timmons is here, but I want to thank Superintendent Timmons for all of the work that he does for our students that attend Polaris Career Center. Another great facet of Polaris Career Center is they also have an adult program, which our students can access after they graduate from high school. So it's not necessarily a terminal pathway where they're done and over with after they graduate. They could go to the police academy, they could go to the EMT fire academy. They can do lots of different things as adults through Polaris Career Center. And this includes adults in our community also. One of the things that we really took a look at the end of last year was we have a group of students that really are unsure what they want to do, or have declared to us that I want to go to work. And from the perspective of the school district, that's an absolute great option for our kids. But what we want to do for our students, and we're doing that this year through the Brooklyn Career Connections Academy, is that we are helping those students focus on those specific career options. What we have found in the district that students that maybe say they want to go to the workforce, they're really unsure what they want to do, and that's okay. But that also goes from the path of the perspective of they don't know how to access those jobs. They don't know how, they may need skills in interviewing and resume writing. And that's what, and Mr. Larson, Mrs. Culleton, if I could ask you to stand right now. These two administrators are working through our Career Connections Academy to help our students. And our students that are here from the academy, could you stand up? I'm not going to make you talk, I promise. Let's give them a round of applause, please. So we have a dedicated effort from our staff to help our students that are entering the workforce. One of the ways that we believe, and I believe that this district can become a destination for others moving into the community or for our students currently here, is to develop innovative programming that meets the needs of our students. You know, this is now my 25th year of education, and I have often been in school districts that stay stagnant in terms of their offerings and programming for students. We don't believe that here. We want our students to have access to programming that meets their needs. For example, the Brooklyn Career Connections Academy. This came out of the conversations about a group of our students that when they begin to approach graduation, struggle with that decision-making process, struggle with access to the workforce. One of the great events that came out of Brooklyn Career Connections Academy this year was our first ever college and career resource fair, where we had colleges, employers, military, trade unions here at Brooklyn City Schools helping students at least explore those different possibilities. And I think as we move forward, this is how we want to do business. What we don't want to do here is come up with a new program every year and then it goes away with a new, this is how we want to develop and identify who we are as a district. And the Career Connections Academy allows us to assist our students moving into that workforce. Another thing we looked at from a perspective of our students in the district is we have a group of students that are either identified as gifted or are very successful in the school environment. And where's Mrs. Mack and our third and fourth graders? Can you stand up? Let's give them a round of applause. So these students are part of our Arts and Innovation Academy. And this becomes another pathway for us as a district where we want to offer programming for our students that need that additional rigor, need that additional push, want that additional rigor, want that additional push in the classroom. And Mrs. Mack, Mrs. Culleton, and Mrs. Kinney have done an amazing job of developing our gifted and enrichment programs. And this begins in pre-K and kindergarten for us. State of Ohio says that we have to identify gifted students starting in third grade. That process starts earlier for us, not necessarily through the identification process, but our teaching staff is able to quickly identify our students who need that additional enrichment early on. And so Mrs. Mack is working with our K-1, 2 teachers to help with those enrichment activities for all of our students. Very quick, funny story. So everybody knows we didn't get a snow day in the district this year, and I hear that on a daily basis. But one of the activities that Mrs. Mack facilitated in her class was an argumentative presentation on why her students, our third graders here, deserve a snow day. The basis of their argument was they just need a break. And so, but those are some of the activities that we are trying to facilitate in our classrooms, the connection to real life conversation, real life communication, because 90% of success, I believe, is how you interact with people, relationships, kindness, and these are some of the communication skills that we're trying to facilitate for all of our students. So I'll try to get you a snow day next year. Maybe a heat day, we'll try, but you guys have air conditioning, so I can't even give you a heat day. Sorry. All right. We're in year 2 of our Brooklyn Digital Learning Academy. Digital Learning Academy really was born out of the need of some of the issues we had returning from the pandemic. We went to online schooling in March of 20, like all other school districts, and we quickly found out that that wasn't necessarily the best option for most of our students. But what we did find out is that digital learning is an option or is successful for some of our students. So again, using the premise that we want to develop our programming that meets the needs of our students, we have a group of students, a very small group, that really do better in a digital learning environment, supervised, structured, guided, but they do much better and are much more successful through a digital learning environment. And so Mr. Hare, Mr. Larson, we're in year 2 of BDLA, we call it, and the quote, I think Mr. Larson said, we wouldn't know what to do without BDLA if we didn't have it in our school district. So again, this is something that we're in year 2, but it's become a part of how we do business in terms of instructing and our students. Another thing we have found that we have a direct need for, from a programming standpoint, is we truly need to begin looking at career exploration earlier. We have found that the sooner our students at least start thinking about and exploring different career possibilities. I want to be a truck driver. I want to be a landscaper. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a doctor. The sooner we get our students thinking about that, they don't have to make a decision, because I still have a 19-year-old that doesn't know what she wants to do. But the sooner they start thinking about what do I really want my professional life to look like, we have found that it helps students once they get into 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. Mr. Abramovic, take a stand, or stand up, Mr. Abramovic. Mr. Abramovic is our new Project Lead the Way launch teacher for grades 5 through 6, and our Career Explorations teacher, grades 5 through 7. And this program will address exposing our kids to more technology, more engineer-based technology earlier in 5th and 6th grade. But he will also be working with our students on that career exploration. Do I want to go into the trades? Do I want to go to the military, safety forces? Do I want to own my own business? Do I want to go to college? He's going to begin working with our students early on so that as they approach 8th and 9th grade and start really having some of those high-stakes conversations with counselors and principals at the high school, they know their path. They semi-know their path. Where we have found that our students struggle is if we don't engage them in those conversations early, they kind of flounder between 9th and 11th grade, and then when we get to the 11th grade, end of 11th grade, we're like, what do you want to do? And they're like, I don't know. And so we want to help prevent some of those conversations by preparing them early. So we're very excited. I've known Mr. Abramovic almost 20 years now. He was one of our science teachers at Brooklyn Middle School when I was the principal. Does a great job. He's enthusiastic, and our program is in great hands with him. So very excited, Mr. Abramovic, for you. Another program, and this is really a partnership that we really don't have a lot to do with, but College Now is an organization that helps provide specific support services for our seniors and families applying to college. So what can happen, and obviously when you approach, college application and financial aid, those are difficult processes for even veteran people to walk through, to work through. But if we have family members who have never been to college before, College Now is able to individually counsel our families to help them through some of that process. They also provide opportunities for scholarships. So this is just another great partnership that we hope to continue in the future with College Now. Attendance. We need our kids to come to school. And I'll say it as bluntly as that. We have, you can see the percentages, and those are general attendance percentages for the month of each school, of this school year. I really would like to see that in the 96, 97% range for our students. Our students cannot be successful here at school or in the work environment or in the college environment if they're not present. One of our initiatives that we will focus on for next school year is attendance, tardies to school, incentives, and understanding of why attendance is so critical for a student's success. We need to help our families, we need to help our students understand that this is a priority. Because if we get our kids here, we get them here on time, then we will see success in the classroom, on the stage, on the court, on the field, wherever they may be outside of school. So we will be taking a hard look at attendance policies, And we will be communicating that with our families as we prepare for next school year. Multi-tiered system of support, really what that addresses is that we know that we have some of our students that have lots of different needs. They have needs from behavior management, academic growth, physical health, emotional health, parental support, collaboration, and attendance. And really, all of these fit into this multi-tiered system of support. And what we're going to do this school year, and the rest of this school year and into next, is we're going to begin to identify those supports, what they look like, because ultimately, all of this, all of behavior, academics, that all impacts a student's growth. And we want to prepare them for life after Brooklyn City Schools. So Mrs. DeLees, where are you at? Mrs. DeLees is going to be working on that, running that initiative with our administrative team in really truly defining what this looks like and how we support our students in all of their needs. Focus 7, obvious finance, district operations, and safety. We passed a renewal levy in November of 2022. This was avoiding deficit levy that was passed by the community, which generates about $2.25 million annually. Our next upcoming renewal levy is slated to, it has to be voted on by the end of calendar year 2025. District will begin deficit spending in fiscal year 25, which is school year 24-25. I say this because part of my responsibility, board's responsibility, is fiscal stability. And one of the things that we did this year is and this is just one example of EMIS reporting is basically we have to report specific data to the Ohio Department of Education. We brought that service in-house. We had previously outsourced that. Bringing that service in-house, Mrs. Maurer is our EMIS coordinator. She does an amazing job. Unfortunately, she's going to be leaving us here in the next 2-3 weeks for another school district, but over the last 2-3 years, she has done an amazing job in the treasurer's office, and we're truly going to miss her. But of the work that she has done so far, she has found or saved the district $49,500 in reporting errors, meaning our data was wrong somewhere in the system that reports to the Ohio Department of Education. She found the error, which led to an increase of almost $50,000 of funding back to the district. That is very important for our fiscal responsibility. Every year we look at staffing, we look at grants, we look at our general funding in terms of how can we be fiscally responsible. All the programs that I've discussed this morning, some of them are funded through the federal funding that we receive through ESSER and ARP, which is the COVID funding. Those programs are staying. We did not want to add programming, add staff that we were going to have to get rid of when that federal funding ended. So I believe we've done a very purposeful and transparent job in looking at our programming and how we service our students, but making sure that where we need to cut, we can. Current 5-year forecast is strong. Mr. Scott is going to report that here in the next couple weeks. And again, we show a positive balance through 2027, which is amazing, but that's assuming we continue to pass our renewal levies. Facilities and capital projects, Over the past 3 years, we have invested $2.1 million into our facilities, and it was much needed. We are getting to a point where the district and the Board of Education, we're beginning to look at, is there a need for renovation of our facilities? Meaning, do we need to begin to look at renovating our auditorium, renovating our high school, renovating our athletic complex, right? I go back to the participation slide. I go back to the enrollment slide. I want our kids and our families to walk into this school district and feel like they deserve wonderful facilities. Part of that participation and enrollment is coming to a place that looks like it's 2023, not 1957. And our custodial staff, our operations staff through Mrs. Neal have done an amazing job of maintaining our facilities. But we're reaching a point in some of the work that we want to do, we cannot do it because of a cost piece. If we want, let's just use as an example, air condition in the high school, that's a significant investment for the district that we cannot fund currently. So we are starting to have those conversations. We're starting to look at how do we do this, when do we do it. We have partnered with AVG Architecture to begin having those conversations about athletic facilities and renovation of the high school potentially. But again, those are all very preliminary, but it is part of our focus area moving forward over the next 3 to 5 years. Last focus area, which I think is truly one of the most powerful things that we have in our district, is our student and community engagement. We had Hurricane Heritage Week, we had our resource fair, we have bike rodeo, we had our annual musical, we have our buddy basketball, we have our partnership with the city and safety forces. Our community engagement, our families show up and they support us, and that's one of the most powerful things about our school district and our community, and we want to continue to engage our families in activities outside of the school day. I want to thank our educational partners that are here. I want to thank Mayor Van Kirk for all the work with the safety forces. We have Kathy here from the Cuyahoga County Public Library. I want to thank her specifically. But these are kind of just a group, our groups that generally support our students. Mr. Becky is here from our Booster Club. I want to thank him for everything. All of these groups give back to our kids during the school day, after school hours, and it truly takes a village. You know, we could not do it without our partners. We could not do it with our families, our parents, our staff, and most of all, we love our students. So I want to thank everybody for attending today. This will be streamed on YouTube. It will be on our website to look at the PowerPoint presentation, and I will be available, or any of us will be available afterwards if you want to grab a conversation, ask a question. Thank you so much for attending today.